Staying in this over the course of several weekends gave me the idea to building smaller spaces, because I could have lived in here quite comfortably with my kid and wife for a couple trips. This is only 78 square feet. This is the smallest Airstream that is built. It's got nice finishes. There's a bed, pantry, clothing areas, storage. This is a 4-seat banquette. This kind of got me thinking about building much smaller spaces. If your life exists largely outside your dwelling place, as it does either in the outdoors or in the big city, then you don't need quite such a big space.
Okay.
This is a spacious version of what I'm going to show you. The version I'm going to show you is the smallest size studio apartment you can build in California by law. We don't have people living in it, although we did have an MIT student live in it for 3 weeks to try it out, to see what she thought. She has some harsh views about many things about it, so we've changed a few things. Small rooms and dwellings set the mind on the right path, large ones cause it to go astray. He wrote that in his notebook on his studio. It's real. It's not manufactured. It is very helpful to a modern 20th century saber-tooth developer, but it's real. Alright. This is it. This is the smallest legal apartment you can have in California. It's 160 square feet.
Do you think 160 is enough?
160 is enough, actually, provided you don't have too many large dinner parties. This is what we call our SmartBench, and obviously it's a banquette. It's critical that you have a place to sit and have dinner with 1 or 2 or 3 people. So we decided to build this in. Once you've concluded your tete-a-tete, you can lower that and you can sit down, or you can even sleep on this if you have a friend over that's had too much to drink. There you go. Or you have a kid. This is the guest suite in the SmartSpace. This bed comes out to be a queen-size bed. There we go. San Francisco is an interesting city. 42% of the population lives alone. Much higher than any other American city. And yet there's very little stuff that addresses the needs of just a single person, especially something that can be affordable to a single person. Yeah, unfortunately, this is a detail that we experimented in this bathroom. This is what we call our Euro bath, which is to say a shower that's incorporated into the bathroom. This got low marks from our MIT student. It caused housekeeping complications because when you take a shower and if you don't squeegee the floor perfectly, you track mud in there with your shoes. So we're going to put in a regular shower in the version 2.0. We're also going to put in a much larger sink, much more storage, larger countertop. Similarly, we have a larger refrigerator. I take that back. In SmartSpace 2.0, we're going to keep the small refrigerator, but we're putting in a convection oven. This is what we call our appliance garage. I always thought that if you're in your living room, which this is, that it's intrinsically depressing to look at a toaster oven. I decided to put all of the ugly appliances in an area where we can hide it. So in your living room, it can look a little bit more like a bar, and you don't feel like you're in an RV or a motorhome. We have a lot of built-in cabinets. The look and feel of all the materials is critically important. This door is a solid sheet of bamboo. It's a 9-foot door, 8.5-foot door. It's something you'd see in a high-quality hotel, museum, or something like that. So we thought that given the small space, someone needed to have privacy to dress if there was 2 people in the space. And you can see how much it stops the noise. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
We built this prototype. It probably cost us a couple $100,000, but we really needed to know exactly how much is enough. And so we learned quite a bit of it. We learned, for example, that ceiling heights have to be at least 9 feet. Width of the room has to be at least 10 feet. 11 is much better for a variety of reasons, so our next generation is going to be 11 feet. We need to know how big the bathroom was, so 2 people can turn around in it and that sort of thing. How much counter space you need. We also have cooktop here under the counter. We didn't want to clutter up the countertop too much. This is an induction heater, which is a very cool idea because it never gets hot. But we concluded that this was too clever by 1/2, and it's going back on the countertop. This is another cool idea that didn't make the cut. A round sink. It's too small to fit a real big pasta pan. It's actually much better to have a much larger sink where you can put a lot of dishes instead of having a smaller, cool-looking one. We learned that it's very handy in a small space to have air movement, even if it's not absolutely necessary to cool the place. It's also nice to put in as many of the amenities as you can. And so that's why we have built-in tables, built-in banquettes, we have built-in lights.
Go on.
That's not a light right there. That's actually a solar tube. We wanted to see if it was worthwhile to put light to get into the bathroom. And we concluded it was not. It didn't provide enough light for the headache of doing it. This is a good example of why you build a prototype. We designed this, we put in 2 ottomans. They can be pulled out. They have storage inside, and so forth. But once we put our spiffy bed in here, we realized that we could not get our spiffy ottoman out. And so SmartSpace 2.0 is actually going to have storage under there, but it's going to open from the top. We had some other problems that we only realized once we designed it. Here's a good one. A very cool light fixture, but alas, the medicine cabinet didn't work. Likewise over here. And I'm glad we didn't make that mistake on a 200-unit high-rise. We even have a space for suitcase right up here in our loft area. Those doors are direct inspiration from the Airstream Bambi. Covers everything up, but it also provides a little permeability and kind of a nice design detail. This is something that made the cut. The stainless steel baseboards. That is a direct knockoff from Airstream. It's easy to clean, it never marks. It suggests the kind of quality, richness, aesthetic that we want to convey in this tiny space. Someone asked Aristotle Onassis, what was your secret to being rich? And he said 2 things. Always have a suntan, and always have an address in the best part of town, even if it's a broom closet. Now, I'm providing the broom closets in the South of Market area, metaphorically speaking. Order is the foundation of all good things. Just as it is with governments, so it is with small spaces. At least according to Edmund Burke. He was talking about the French Revolution and political process up there. But he could quite easily have been talking about SmartSpace. One has to have some order in small spaces in order to live sanely.